Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Trump's very unique trip to New Hampshire and the series of things that he said along the way and what it can tell us, what it might actually be able to demonstrate. Because this isn't just a series of misspeaking. It's a series of events showing a man under a whole lot of stress and who may not be handling it well. So if you don't know what happened, showing up in New Hampshire, at one point he was greeted by people chanting, "Lock him up." He certainly didn't like that. Another point in time, he seemed to promise to build an Iron Dome for the United States, which, set aside that, whether or not it's needed, I would remind everybody that the United States is, way bigger than Israel. It would, that's a whole lot of air defense, just saying. He said that Viktor Orban was just a great leader of Turkey, which is not the country he's... Anyway, one of the more interesting ones was when he told people not to vote. He said, "You don't have to vote. Don't worry about voting. The voting, we got plenty of votes." He seemed to be saying that the people there shouldn't vote. They should go watch people vote for Democrats, I think is what he was trying to get at. I'm not sure. He compared himself to Mandela. Basically said, that he didn't mind being Mandela because he's doing it for a reason. That one's incredibly interesting to me. We'll come back to that. And then he very bizarrely claimed that he had never been indicted, which I don't... It kind of shows a person under a lot of stress that may not be up to campaigning. There may be a lot going on. But one of the interesting things for me is the Mandela bit. He doesn't mind being Mandela. It's not the first time that he said that he wouldn't mind going to jail. About 4 months ago, I put out a video talking about Trump supporters and how, if you listen to their statements and you listen to what they're talking about and how they're framing it, they're running through denial, bargaining, anger. They're running through the stages of grief. That video was very much focused on Trump supporters. The sudden fascination with putting it out there that he's okay with going to jail. That might be acceptance from him. He might really be at the point where he's starting to understand the situation that he's in. I've been saying for a while that I don't really think he gets it. I think he's kind of stuck in the denial phase. The new trend of him expressing his willingness to go to jail. I think he's starting to understand how strong some of these cases are. And I think that may have a lot to do with some of his behavior, some of his statements that don't make any sense, some of him misspeaking, a lot more than he used to. Before, when he would say something and it would get coverage, it was because it was inflammatory. It was offensive. It was something that most Americans, at least at the time in 2016, it's not something they normally would have stood for until they had enough people give them permission to be their worst. Now, it's, I mean, honestly, he's showing a lot of the behaviors that Republicans say Biden shows. In their memes where they talk about him being sleepy and eating ice cream and all of that stuff. That's what his speaking pattern's like now. I think we are witnessing somebody under a lot of stress who is starting to come to terms with the situation that they're facing. I'm not sure where it goes from here, but I know that if I'm noticing it, those people who viewed him as some mythical figure, they've got to be noticing it too. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.